वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भवति नैष्टिकी। हरे कृष्ण। Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 10, Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka, Shloka number 24 and 25. So va ayam sakhi anugita satkatah
वा अयं सखी अनुगीत सत्कथः
Vedeshu guheshu च गुह्यव आदिभिः
वेदेषु गुह्येषु च गुह्य अव आदिभिः
यह एक ईशः जगत आत्मलीलया
यह एक ईशः जगत् आत्मलीलया
सृजति अवति अत्ति न तत्र संजते।
सृजति अवति अत्ति न तत्र सज्जते।
यदा हि अधर्मेण तमः धिय नृपाः
यदा हि अधर्मेण तम अधीयो नृपाः
जीवन्ति तत्र एष एष हि सत्वतः किल।
जीवन्ति तत्र एष हि सत्वतः किलः।
धत्ते भगं सत्यमृतं दयां यशः
धत्ते भगं सत्यम ऋतं दया यशः
भवाय रूपाणि अ, दध्य दध्यत युगे युगे।
भवाय रूपाणि दध्यत् युगे युगे।
सह वा अयं सखी अणुगीत सत्कथः
स वायं सखी अनुगित सत्कथः
वेदेषु गुह्येषु च गुह्यव आदिभिः।
वेदेषु गुह्येषु च गुह्यवादिभिः
यह एक ईश जगत आत्मलीलया
यह एक ईश जगतात्मलीलया
सृजति अवति अत्ति न तत्संजते।
सृजति अवति अत्ति न तत्र सज्जते।
यदा हि अधर्मेण तमः धियः नृपाः
यदा हि अधर्मेण तमः अधीयः नृपाः
जीवन्ति तत्र एषः हि सत्वतः किल।
जीवन्ति तत्र एष हि सत्वतः किलः।
धत्ते भगं सत्यमृतं दयां यशः
दत्ते भगं सत्यमृतं दयाम् एषः
भवाय रूपाणि तद्यत युगे युगे।
भवाय रूपाणि दधत् युगे युगे।
स वा अयं सखी अणुगीत सत्कथः वेदेषु गुह्येषु च गुह्यव आदिभिः। यः एक ईशः जगत् आत्मलीलया सृजति यवति अति न तत्सृज्यते। यदा हि अधर्मेण तमधियो नृपाः जीवन्ति तत्र एषः हि सत्वतः किल। दत्ते भगं सत्यमृतं दयां यशः भवाय रूपाणि तदत् युगे युगे। हरे कृष्ण।
स वायं सख्यानुगीत सत्कथः वेदेषु गुहेषु च गुह्यवादिभिः यः एक ईश जगत् आत्मलीलया सृजति अवति अत्ति न तत्र सज्जते। यदा हि अधर्मेण तमोधियो नृपः जीवन्ति तत्र एष हि सत्वतः किलः। धत्ते भगं सत्यं ऋतं दयां यशः भवाय रूपाणि ददत् युगे युगे।
पूनम माता जी। हरे कृष्ण। कृपामयी माता जी। हरे कृष्ण।
अयं सखी अनुचिता सज्जता वेदेषु गुह्येषु च गुह्यपदिभिः या एक ईशाः जगत् आत्मा आत्मलीला सृजति अवतति न तथा सजते। यदा यदा हि अधर्मणे तमः धिया Nirapa Devanti Tatra Isa Hi Satatvaha Satatvala Kila Tadati Bhagam Satyam Tandayam Yesana Bhavyaha Rupani Dadat Yuge Yuge. Thank you,
Ashish
Mother.
Prabhuji.
Sava ayam sakhi anugita satkato videshu guhyeshu chaguya vadibhihi ya eka iso jagat atma leelaya sriyati avati atti na tatra sajjate yada hi adharmena tamadhiyo nripa jivanti tatraisa hi satyava kila datte bhagam satyam ritam dayam yaso bhavaya rupani dadat yuge yuge.
Translation
Hare
and
Krishna.
purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Oh dear friends, here is that very personality of Godhead whose attractive and confidential pastimes are described in the confidential parts of the Vedic literature by his great devotee. It is he only who creates, maintains, annihilates the material world, yet remains unaffected. Whenever there are kings and administrators living like animals in the lowest modes of existence, the Lord, in his transcendental form, manifests his supreme power. The truth positive shows special mercy to the faithful, performs wonderful activities, and manifests various transcendental forms as is necessary in different periods and ages. Purport with the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As it is stated in Bhagavad-gītā, all the Vedic literature are glorifying the greatness of Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa. Here it is confirmed in the Bhagavad-gītā and Bhagavatam also. The Vedas are expanded by many branches and sub-branches by great devotees, empowered incarnation of Lord like Vyas, Narada, Shukdev Goswami, Kumaraj, Kapila, Prahlad, Janak, Bali, and Yamraj. But in the Srimad Bhagavatam especially, the confidential parts of his activities are described by the confidential devotee Shukdev Goswami in the Vedānta-sūtras or Upaniṣads. There is only a hint of the confidential parts of his pastime. In such Vedic literature as the Upaniṣads, the Lord has expressively been distinguished from the mundane conception of his existence, his identity being fully spiritual, his form, name, quality, and paraphernalia, etc., have been elaborately distinguished from matter, and therefore he is sometimes misunderstood by less intelligent person as impersonal, but factually he is the supreme person, Bhagavān, and he is partially represented as Paramātmā or impersonal Brahman. As mentioned above, the cosmic creation is the property of the Supreme Lord. This is the basic philosophy of Upaniṣads. Everything is the property of the Supreme Being. No one should encroach upon the property of the Supreme Lord. One should accept only what is kindly awarded by him. Therefore, the earth or any other planet or universe is the absolute property of the Lord. The living being are certainly his parts and parcel, or sons, and thus every one of them has a right to live at the mercy of the Lord, to execute his prescribed work. No one therefore can encroach upon right to of another individual man or animal without being so sanctioned by the Lord. The king or the administrator is representative of the Lord to look after the management of Lord's will. He must therefore be a recognized person like Maharaj Yudhishthir or Parikshit. Such kings are full responsibility and knowledge from authority about administration of the world. But at times, due to the influence of the ignorance mode of material nature, the Mogun, the lowest of the material modes, kings and administrators come into power without knowledge and responsibility, and such foolish administrators live like animals for the sake of their own personal interest. The result is that the whole atmosphere becomes surcharged with anarchy and vicious elements, nepotism, bribery, cheating, aggression, and therefore famine, epidemic, war, and similar other disturbing features become prominent in human society, and the duties of the Lord or the faithful are persecuted by all means. All these symptoms indicate the time of an incarnation of the Lord to re-establish the principles of religion and to vanquish the maladministrators. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad-gītā. The Lord then appear in his transcendental form without any tinge of material qualities. He descends just to keep the state of his creation in a normal condition. The normal condition is that the Lord has provided each and every planet with all of the native living being. They can happily live and execute their predestined occupations to attain salvation at the end. Following the rules and regulation mentioned in the revealed scripture, the material world is created to satisfy whims of the Nitya Baddha or everlasting conditioned soul, just as naughty boys are provided with playing cradles. Otherwise, there was no need of the material world. But when they become intoxicated with power of material science to exploit resources unlawfully without sanction of the Lord, and that also only for sense gratification, there is necessity of Lord's incarnation to chastise rebellious and to protect faithful. When he descends, he exhibits superhuman acts just to prove his supreme right, and materialists like Ravan, Hiranyakashipu, and Kans are sufficiently punished. He acts in a manner which no one can imitate. For example, the Lord, when he appeared as Rama, bridged the Indian Ocean. When he appeared as Krishna from his every childhood, he showed superhuman activities by killing Putana, Agasur, Shaktashur, Kaliya, etc. And then his maternal uncle Kans, when he was at Dwarka, married 16,108 queens, and all of them were blessed with a sufficient number of children. The sum total of his personal family members amounted to about 1 lakh, popularly known as Yaduvansh. And again, during his lifetime, he managed to vanquish them all. He is famous as Govardhandari Hari because he lifted at age of only 7. He is known as Govardhan. The Lord killed many undesirable kings in his time, and as a Kshatriya, he fought chivalrously. He is famous as asamordhva, unparalleled. No one is equal to or greater than him. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Nama Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guroho Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitancha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhecha Krupa Sindhube Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Today is Ekadashi, and which describe in 2 shlokas Prabhuji will tell us in detail. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji, for the opportunity to discuss on this auspicious day of Utpanna Ekadashi, wherein it is said that the Ekadashi itself evolved today onwards. So here the ladies are discussing and explaining about Krishna, how he is very attractive, how his pastimes, though confidential, they are also very attractive. How Krishna is the one who creates, maintains, annihilates the material world, and still remains unaffected. These are points which we have already discussed yesterday. In fact, even in Bhagavad-gītā, it is stated that all the Vedic literatures are glorifying the greatness of Lord Krishna. And same thing is getting confirmed here in Bhagavatam also. So you all remember wherein Krishna himself says that he is the Vedescha Sarvasyaham, is what he says in Bhagavad-gītā. If you all remember the shloka in the Vedānta-sūtras or Upanishads, which Vyasdevji had written earlier, there is a hint to the confidential parts of his pastimes. But even there, the Vedic literature clearly documents that Krishna is distinguishable from the mundane conception of existence. His identity is fully spiritual. His form, name, quality, paraphernalia, pastimes, they are elaborately distinguished from material aspects. So, which again goes on to prove that he is spiritual. But still, the ignorant, the less intelligent, they misunderstand Krishna to be impersonal. But he is actually the supreme personality of Godhead. He is Bhagavān. And he expands. And so he is partially represented as Paramātmā, the impersonal Brahman. But Krishna is the original personality. And he ensures that whatever he does for the good of his parts and parcels like us. So the ladies also see the same thing, that whenever kings and administrators live like animals in the lowest mode of existence, then Krishna in his transcendental form manifests his supreme power, the positive truth, shows special mercy to the faithful, performs wonderful activities, manifests various transcendental forms as per requirement in different periods and ages. Whole cosmic creation is nothing but the property of the Lord. This is the basic philosophy of Upanishad as well. Everything is property of Supreme. No one should encroach upon the property of the Supreme. One should accept only what is kindly awarded to him. Ishavasyamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita mam gridha kasya svidhanam. So everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. So Prabhupada says that this is the peace formula for the world. If this peace formula is accepted, there will not be any more wars. Because Krishna is the supreme controller. He has created the world. And this world is completely perfect and free from any kind of scarcity. He supplies the necessities of all living entities. And they come from the earth itself. So earth is the source of the supply. So if there is a good ruler, the earth produces the necessities of life abundantly. But when there is not a good ruler, there will be scarcity. In fact, we'll be seeing this further in third or fifth canto as well. How earth responds to the presence of bad rulers, how the work, the karma of the people affects the productive capacity of the earth. So we living beings, we are certainly the parts and parcels of Krishna. We are like the child. And so everyone has a right to live at the mercy of the Lord, to execute the prescribed work. And we should therefore not encroach upon the right of another individual man or animal unless sanctioned by the Lord. So it is the duty of the king or the administrator to ensure this is done. He is the representative of the Lord to look after the management of the Lord's will. And so ideally it is said that the king or the administrator should be a recognized person like Maharaj Yudhishthir or Maharaj Parikshit. Such kings have full responsibility and knowledge which they have gained from the authorities about how the world has to be administered by being equal to all, by ensuring that everyone is guided to get out of the repeated cycles of birth, old age, disease, and death. But unfortunately, due to the influence of the mode of ignorance of the material nature, that is tamagun, which is the lowest of the material modes, sometimes kings and administrators come into power without knowledge and responsibility. And such foolish administrators, they live like animals for the sake of their own personal interest. And the result is that the whole atmosphere becomes supercharged with anarchy, vicious elements. And we are seeing this happening in so many parts of the world, be it Middle East, be it Ukraine, or be it some states of India as well. Nepotism, bribery, cheating, aggression, resultant famine, epidemics, war, and so many other disturbing features become prominent in human society. And those who are devotees of the Lord, those who are faithful, they get persecuted by all means. So all these symptoms indicate the time for the incarnation of the Lord to re-establish the principles of religion to vanquish the maladministrators. यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्. Bhagwan Shri Krishna says in the 7th shloka of the 4th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice or dissident of Bharat and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. And why? Sarvadharman he comes so that he can establish the religion and make everyone aware of the duty. And what is the duty? Sarvadharman parityajya ekam sharanam vraja. To surrender completely to Lord. And that is why he srujami aham. So srujami means the Lord manifests himself. He appears by his own will whenever there is a predominance of irreligiosity and disappearance of true religion. And what are the principles of religion? They are those which are laid down in the Vedas. And any discrepancy in the matter of properly executing the rules of Vedas makes one irreligious. The principles of dharma or religion, they are the direct orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. So the Lord, whenever he finds such things happening, it becomes his responsibility to re-establish the order, to re-establish a situation whereby fallen conditioned souls can get an opportunity to go back home, back to Godhead. So he appears in his transcendental form without any tinge of material qualities. He descends just to keep the state of his creation in normal condition. And what is the normal condition? It is a state where everyone, each one on every planet is giving all the needs. They can freely live and execute the prescribed occupations to attain salvation at the end, following the rules and regulations mentioned in the scriptures. So the material world is actually created to satisfy the whims of the Nitya-baddha, as we saw yesterday, or everlasting conditioned souls. Just like many times, kids are very naughty. They are simply running here and there. So they are given playing cards. Similarly, the Nitya-baddhas, they need to be given something to satisfy the whims. Otherwise, there was no need of the material world. But when Krishna comes, when he descends, he exhibits superhuman acts just to prove his supreme right. And he punishes all the materialists. So Ravan, Hiranyakashipu, Kaunsa, they were all punished. He acts in such manners which no one can imitate. Otherwise, just look, 6-year-old boy, left hand, little finger, tip of the little finger. I cannot even hold this eye drop on it. And Krishna, he was holding the whole Govardhan hill, which today is 21 miles. In those days, much, much bigger. Who can do it? No one. Just a small baby, few days old. And Putna, the Rakshasin, such big, 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 big. And he simply sucks out the life. Nalkuve, who are in the form of a tree. He simply pulls them apart. So many Rakshasas, Trinavar, so many things at such a young age. And not only that, even after becoming youth, he married so many lives and kept them happy simultaneously. Today we find marriages being broken in one life, one wife or one husband only. He had a family of over 1 lakh persons. And then he also managed to vanquish them all. So such acts cannot be performed by normal persons. And that is why he is Lord. He killed so many undesirable kings in his lifetime. As a Kshatriya, he fought chivalrously. And that is why Krishna is asamordhva, unparalleled. No one is equal to or greater than him. And today is an auspicious day to please him by fasting on the Upaniṣads Ekadashi. So let us fast, let us chant and be happy.